This is the morning of the 4th of November, 2025. I'm really gun shy in making long videos because quite often when I go to download them, there's nothing there. This clip plays for 45 minutes. Turning Point USA insider leaks the truth about Erica Kirk and Chief of Staff. Wow, she's a real player, huh? The Chief of Staff and J.D. Vance. Let's have a listen. Again, I might do this in 2 parts, depends on what I hear, so sit back and have a listen.
Explosive allegations are shaking the halls of Turning Point USA. And insiders are calling it the biggest internal scandal the organization has ever faced. A leaked recording and a series of private messages have just revealed shocking new details about Aramord. Confrontation involving Erica Kirk, wife of TPUSA founder Charlie Kirk, and the organization's chief of staff, whose name is now at the canter of a rapidly growing controversy. According to a verified insider who spoke exclusively to an independent outlet, something happened behind closed doors that could threaten both the public image and internal stability of the conservative powerhouse. Leaked texts suggest that tensions between Erika and senior leadership reached a boiling point, and now the fallout is spreading like wildfire. Staff members are allegedly divided. Board members are quietly panicking, and several key figures have reportedly lawyered up. Meanwhile, Turning Point USA's top brass has remained eerily silent, refusing to confirm or deny the leaks. One insider even warned, "What's about to come out will change everything people think they know about this movement." The question dominating every political forum and conservative chat group is simple. What really went down between Erica Kirk and the Chief of Staff? Who leaked the internal communications? And why are so many within TPUSA suddenly going dark? Stay tuned, because what's happening inside? Turning Point USA, right? Now could redefine the future of one of the most influential political networks in America. 2. Grasp the magnitude of what's happening inside Turning Point USA. You first have to understand who Erica Kirk is and how much influence she quietly holds to the outside world. Erika is known as the elegant, faith-driven wife of Charlie Kirk, founder and face of one of the most powerful conservative youth organizations in America. She's a former Miss Arizona USA, a podcast host, and an outspoken Christian advocate with deep connections in political and media circles. But behind the curtain, multiple insiders have long described her as more than just Charlie's wife. They say Erika has been a key decision maker, a silent but powerful force who helped shape the organization's public image, strategy, and even personnel moves. She's not just sitting in the background smiling for pictures. One former TPUSA staffer said in a leaked group chat, "She has access to everything, meetings, budgets, you name it. When Erika doesn't like someone, that person's days are numbered." For years, this dynamic worked quietly. Charlie Kirk was the public visionary, fiery, controversial, and headline-grabbing, while Erika was the diplomatic strategist who smoothed things over behind the scenes. But according to multiple sources, something shifted dramatically inside the organization around mid-2024. That's when the Chief of Staff, a long-standing executive known for his intense loyalty to Charlie and his sharp management style, allegedly began clashing with Erika over influence and boundaries. At first, no one outside the inner circle noted, but then subtle signs began to appear. Staff meetings became tense. Emails between Erika and the leadership team grew curt, and according to one insider leak, there were several closed-door discussions between Erika and the board about inappropriate decision-making and disrespectful conduct from within the executive ranks. The exact nature of those meetings wasn't public until now. A recently leaked memo, allegedly written by a mid-level staff member in the communications department, describes a heated private argument between Erika and the chief of staff at TPUSA headquarters. The memo reads, Mrs. Kirk arrived unexpectedly at the office and requested a private conversation. Voices were raised. At one point, she said something about you not understanding your place. Shortly after, the chief of staff exited abruptly and refused to comment to anyone. That same memo was reportedly forwarded to the HR department, but mysteriously disappeared from internal archives a week later. When staff asked about it, they were told it was being handled. Handled, that's the word insiders say is code at TPUSA for buried. Not long after that confrontation, strange things began happening internally. Several senior employees close to the chief of staff were reassigned or suddenly let go. Travel budgets were slashed. Meeting access was restricted. And according to internal Slack screenshots leaked to political commentator Lauren Chen, one staff member wrote, Erica's basically running things now. Even Charlie defers to her when she's around. At first, most people assumed it was typical workplace politics. Power struggles happen in every organization. But then, in late September, a leaked audio recording surfaced. The 12-minute clip, reportedly recorded during a private strategy meeting, captures a heated exchange between two voices believed to be Erika and the chief of staff. The audio is muffled but clear enough to catch fragments like, you don't get to decide who's loyal. You're not protecting the mission, you're protecting yourself. If this gets out, it's not just your job that's gone. The audio ends abruptly with the sound of a door slamming within hours of the leak. The recording was shared across conservative Twitter, Reddit, and Telegram groups. It was deleted quickly, but not before thousands of people downloaded it. For many, it confirmed what had been whispered for months. Something was deeply wrong inside Turning Point USA. Soon after, a post appeared on an anonymous political gossip page claiming that Erika and Charlie were at odds with senior staff and that internal loyalties were breaking down. The post also mentioned NDAs being rewritten and data being scrubbed. That was when speculation exploded. People began digging through archived TPUSA, live streams, and photos, looking for clues. Fans pointed out that the chief of staff, once frequently seen next to Charlie Kirk at public events, had been missing from recent broadcasts. One viral TikTok showed a side-by-side comparison of TPUSA conference footage from March and October 2024. Notice who's gone. The caption read, Then came the first internal leak, a PDF of an alleged internal email chain between board members. In it, one executive wrote, the Erika situation is getting volatile. The chief is threatening to walk if the accusations continue. This could destroy morale. Another replied, if he goes public, this organization burns. That message was timestamped just 2 days before the chief of staff reportedly took an unscheduled personal leave. To make things even more suspicious, a former TPUSA event planner came forward on an anonymous podcast, claiming that security was increased around the Kirks during that same week, and that all staff were told not to gossip or engage in political talk. Off record. So what exactly were they trying to keep quiet? Theories are multiplying fast. Some insiders claim it was about power and money. Others hint it might involve something far more personal, accusations of manipulation, betrayal, or a private exchange that got out of control. But the truth, according to one verified whistleblower who spoke under condition of anonymity, isn't what people think. It's worse. The official story isn't the real one. People are scared to talk. The way this is being handled, it's not just about damage control. It's about survival. And as we'll soon see, the next round of leaks, screenshots, internal documents, and a secret message from someone claiming to be inside the organization may finally expose what was really happening between Erica Kirk and the Chief of Staff, and why Turning Point USA is now in full-blown crisis mode. By early October, what started as whispers had turned into an uncontrollable storm. The Turning Point Insider Leaks, as political commentators dubbed them. had moved beyond small online forums and were now dominating conservative media spaces. Even loyal donors and regional coordinators were quietly asking the same question. What happened between Erica Kirk and the Chief of Staff? That's when the second wave of leaks hit. And this time, there was no denying that the situation had spiraled into chaos. The first bombshell was a set of redacted internal emails, obtained by an anonymous account called @InsideTPUSA. The emails, allegedly between senior leadership, referenced a code-red meeting following an altercation that cannot be contained. The timestamp matched the same week as the rumored shouting match between Erika and the Chief of Staff. One of the leaked lines read, Erika confronted redacted directly about the incident. It was explosive. There's a risk to brand stability if this surfaces before the summit. Another email followed up. All internal staff need NDAs renewed. Threats of exposure are escalating. The messages circulated for hours before being taken down, but not before tens of thousands of screenshots were saved. Within minutes, journalists were calling this the TPUSA internal war. TPUSA internal war. Even more damning was what came next. A voice note leak. ALLEGEDLY sent by an assistant who had recorded a tense meeting involving Erika. In the recording, Erika can be heard saying, I'm not going to stand by while people abuse positions of trust. This movement is supposed to be about values, not cover-ups. It's a man's voice. Believed to be the Chief of Staff snapped back, you don't run this organization. Erika, you're a liability. She replied sharply, then why are you still here? That was all it took. The clip went viral. Podcasts, YouTube channels, and conservative influencers rushed to decode what it meant. Some claimed Erika was accusing the Chief of Staff of inappropriate behavior. Others insisted it was about misuse of donor funds. No one could agree on the truth. But one thing was clear. The dynamic inside TPUSA had shattered. Within 24 hours. A spokesperson for the organization released a vague public statement. Turning Point USA continues to stand for faith, family, and freedom. We do not comment on internal personnel matters. The tone was corporate, cold, and strangely defensive, and that only fueled the fire. Rumors began circulating that Erika had been temporarily locked out of internal communication systems, including Slack and email for security reasons. A former TPUSA staffer told the National Pulse, you could tell something serious had gone down. Certain offices were sealed off. The chief's assistant started crying at her desk. People were walking on eggshells. But then came the first major twist. A leaked document that flipped the narrative entirely. A file labeled Confidential HR Statement, DRAFT, surfaced on a whistleblower site. ALLEGEDLY, written by the organization's HR director. The document included multiple witness statements describing verbal aggression, intimidation, and inappropriate workplace conduct. But the shock came from who the allegations were directed at, not the Chief of Staff. Erika. The document claimed that during an internal meeting, Erika had created a hostile environment, issued threats regarding personnel status, and interfered with ongoing investigations. It even mentioned that several staff members felt unsafe due to repeated emotional outbursts. Leak detonated across every corner of social media. Supporters of Erika immediately called it a smear campaign, pointing out that the draft looked like it had been deliberately leaked to discredit her. Critics, however, argued it proved that Erika had gone too far, that she was using her influence as Charlie's wife to strong-arm the organization. Then, a second file emerged, a handwritten note allegedly from a senior board member warning, Erika's behavior has crossed into dangerous territory. If Charlie can't contain this, we may have to force a transition. A transition. That one word sent the entire movement into panic. Analysts began speculating whether Turning Point's board was preparing to remove Charlie Kirk himself or isolate him from his wife. Insiders claimed Erika caught wind of the plan, and that's when things really turned ugly. Within days, multiple longtime staff members resigned. 2 key donors reportedly froze their contributions, citing instability at the top. An internal memo circulated among regional directors, urging them not to engage in social media commentary about leadership matters. And then, in what many saw as a desperate attempt to regain control of the story, Charlie Kirk himself broke his silence on his radio show. He didn't name names. He didn't address the leaks directly, but his tone was sharp, defensive. You know, he said in this movement, people love gossip. They love to tear down those who actually do the work. I stand by my team. I stand by the mission. But as soon as he said it, fans noticed something off. For the first time in years, Erika wasn't in the studio. She wasn't at the Turning Point offices. She wasn't in photos. She wasn't seen at church. She was. Gone. Her last social media post, a prayer quote reading. Sometimes God removes you so he can reveal the truth was deleted an hour after. Charlie's broadcast, that silence didn't just unsettle followers, it terrified them.
That'll be the 15-minute and 20-second mark. You can watch the rest of it, but it looks like there's a lot going on over there. What's amazing is that after they had that Dog and Pony show, you know, the memorial, the subscriber base went wild. And now I think it's all in reverse. And I think that Erika is responsible for going in reverse. I'll attach the link. Watch it through its entirety. Pass it along, and thanks for listening.